Hi, I'm Dr. Jan Jaffer, and this is Got Teeth. So today I'm going to be talking with John Rogers. John is one of the owners of TREC FitLab and a personal training coach here in Calgary. Also does some online work with a number of clients. And we're going to be talking about health, wellness, nutrition, just some stuff for the new year. One of the things that we know is lockdown's been challenging on a lot of people, and we're getting into 2021 here, and we want to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. And there's so many different ways of doing that, and we're going to get John's expertise on helping us through this, January back to whatever we're going to do to get healthy. So, John, thanks for the time.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad I could help you guys up today.
So, everybody has this January, let's do it, let's get at it, and we know that doesn't last for a long time for many people.
Yeah.
So, can you start out and give us some ideas? Okay, we're locked in at home. We can't go out of the house. Our gyms are closed. Where do we start? It's really confusing for a person. I know for me, I've been challenged. I haven't been going to the gym. What do I do to start?
Well, I think really it's just kind of like getting a real small, slowly getting the ball rolling. So I think first of all, figuring out kind of what it is that you enjoy doing around the house, that you have the space or the equipment to be able to do. So whether that be just being able to get out for a nice 5 to 10 minute walk and just kind of build on that, or if you have a yoga mat and you have access to some yoga videos, there's lots of resources online for that kind of thing, just to be able to kind of work on stretching, mobility, that piece. And then if you have access to to fitness equipment such as weights, dumbbells, and that kind of thing, being able to use all the resources that are available online to be able to just slowly start to get in the habit of doing 10, 15, 20 minutes a day of some kind of a resistance training routine, and then just trying to build on that. What we tend to do so often is go for the 0 to 100 mentality of trying to get a month of gains in 3 days. And that is not a sustainable thing, because we either hurt ourselves or we make ourselves so sore that we can't work out in the days to follow. So just kind of slowly adding on and progressively overloading your body so you can improve and constantly gain some kind of a sustainable habit, instead of trying to get that flash in the pan type of deal.
Okay, so help me out. So I haven't been to the gym, as you're well aware, for the last few months. I'm getting started.
Yep.
So how would I get any level of starting to do something? What would you tell me as a coach is okay, so I've got to think about my mobility. I've got to think about some aerobic and anaerobic capacities, but I'm locked in at home and I can't go to the gym. So far, weather's been okay, so I'd probably get outside a little bit.
Yeah.
But where would you get me to start?
So really, like you said, kind of breaking the focus of the workouts into maybe 4 different parts. Or three parts. You have your mobility, you have your strength, and then you have your conditioning piece. So when you're first getting going, probably spending 5 to 10 minutes of a workout trying to focus on that mobility piece. The mobility piece is often what helps us alleviate pain. So if we are really tight in some area, we can stretch or do some kind of we call it mobilizing. That would be like taking a lacrosse ball or a foam roller and then rolling the areas that are causing us pain. So that'd be about 5 to 10 minutes. And then after that, maybe taking 10 to 15 minutes to work on some kind of a strength piece. So whether that be just like basic pushing and pulling, so like a push up, or some kind of a row using like a jug of water, something like that. Doesn't have to be crazy. And then doing some kind of a conditioning piece, something that's going to feel almost like you're jogging or running, whether that be walking up and down stairs you may have in your house. If you live in an apartment building, having access to stairs is a very, very useful tool. You can use the stairs to get your cardio in, or even just going for a nice brisk walk after you've done your strength work. This is all stuff that's very accessible at home.
Awesome. So let's switch a little bit. I know one of the things that a lot of us are doing is snacking a lot more because we're sitting at home watching Netflix, doing those things. How are we able to stay healthier in the kitchen, or with what we're doing? Is there a way to avoid some of the challenges that we've had with the COVID-19 weight?
Yeah, well, so one thing that starts to come along with the snacking piece is it's not very mindful eating. So what tends to happen is you'll sit in front of the TV and you'll just constantly eat. And so when your brain is distracted by the TV, you really have very little awareness of what you're putting into your body. So that's like that boredom snacking. So whenever you're eating, what you want to try and do is pre-portion the amount that you want to have, and then that's all you eat, especially when it comes to not major meals. All right, so if you're having like some more junk food, establish a small portion, eat that, and you're done. All right, if you are still hungry after that, stop watching your show, go make a meal, sit down at your dinner table, eat the meal, and then go back into watching TV or whatever. It's not being aware of what we're putting in the body because we are distracted that it causes this constant ability to be able to eat endless amounts of bad food when we're not being mindful of what's going into our body.
So not bringing the whole bag of chips into the
Yeah.
room, taking out a bowl
Exactly.
from that bag of chips. Okay, no, that makes sense as well. So what else are you helping clients with, or what else are you telling people to do during these times? Is there any other information that you kind of want to give to people that'll help them get through one winter? I know, lack of sunshine, so that's going to be probably some of the challenges that people are going through and moving, right?
So like some supplementation with like some basic supplements is a pretty important piece. Like with us being in Calgary, we definitely have a limited amount of sunlight we get in a day. Fortunately, it's been beautiful. We've been getting lots of sun lately, but still we're covered pretty much like head to toe in anything to be able to make sure we can deal with the cold. So having some kind of a vitamin D supplement is going to be super helpful. There's been lots of studies that have come out with for COVID research that have been saying that vitamin D is definitely going to help boost your immune system and decrease the risk of contracting the virus. But also on top of that, just because of the way that we've been eating, whenever it gets colder, we just tend to eat the kind of fattier foods. Having a omega-3 supplement, like omega-3 fish oil, to be able to kind of boost our omega-3 levels. If we have too much omega-6, that's pro-inflammation. If we get enough omega-3 to kind of counteract that, then we get the anti-inflammatory, and then our body just kind of lives in a bit more of an equilibrium. And then some digestive enzymes and probiotics actually make a very big difference. With a lot of the foods that we've been consuming throughout the holidays, it slowly starts to dilute and weaken our stomach acid. And so it affects our body's ability to naturally digest our food. So we need to take a little bit of digestive enzymes, put that into our diet, and that's going to really help break down our foods a bit more efficiently so our body can digest it properly. And as well, it lets our body naturally start to increase the strength of our stomach acid, so eventually we can come off of those again and then be able to digest food the way we're supposed to. We all kind of feel gross and lethargic around Christmas, and if we don't start to boost that stomach acid again and start to rebuild those gastric juices, then it's going to really slowly start to decrease and get worse and worse and worse if we don't boost it back up.
Awesome. Anything around kind of water or anything like that we need to worry about? I mean, is there a
we should always
magic
be consuming
amount?
Yeah, magic amount. What was the amount someone kind of told me the other day? It's pretty much, I think you take your weight in pounds, and then you what's the number? I can't remember. Essentially, you should be consuming definitely over 2 liters of water a day. Myself, I'm about 210 pounds, and I try and get 4 liters a day. So, I guess you could probably say about a liter per 50 pounds. It's probably a good little a good gauge to go off of.
Okay, awesome. So anything else you want to add? Any other stuff that's gonna help us stay healthy that we need to worry about? Or is that
movement helps boost dopamine levels. All right. A lot of we're entering that time of the year with the lack of sunlight and kind of like the post-Christmas blues, that we start to deal with depression in the first place, and much less you add in the isolation that a lot of people are dealing with. And getting a little bit of movement, getting out, getting your heart rate going. This is all very important stuff to kind of help us with our mood. It's going to help kind of get our moods back up there, and hopefully we can avoid some of these, or at least not avoid, mitigate some of the symptoms we get from depression.
Awesome. Well, perfect. Well, thanks for your time. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of show a few exercises to the people so we can try some stuff at home. If there's stuff that you want to do at home, John's going to help us with a few exercises. So we're going to show you a few of those now.
All right, perfect. So I just wanted to show you guys 4 movements that we can use when we're at home to try and keep ourselves moving. And the way that I kind of have these broken up is really into push, pull, quads, and hamstrings, okay? So really easy way for us to kind of break the body up into like its main movement patterns, okay? So first movement, can't go wrong with a push-up, okay? It is one of the more commonly improperly done exercises, so we'll just go through really quickly how to do it. All right, number one is the setup, making sure your hands are underneath your shoulders or a little bit wider than shoulder width. And then also making sure that we're in a nice straight plank position from here. And then as we're pressing, or as we're coming down and pressing, we want to imagine that we're keeping our elbows at 45 degrees or tighter to the body, okay? When we're from here to here, our lats can help support the shoulder, and it's a safer movement, it's a stronger movement. As soon as the elbows start to creep up and we get into this type of thing, lats turn off, and then we have to use smaller muscles that aren't supposed to work that way to help support the shoulder, okay? So we're right here, nice straight plank, elbows kind of tucked in tight, and then into our push-up from there, okay? If you struggle going from the toes, you can go from the knees and into this position. But when we're going from the knees, we want to make sure that the stomach and the hips stay off the floor, so we're still using our core to do that press. What tends to happen when we go from the knees is we get this kind of thing going on, a little bit of worming. So we want to stay nice and tight to the core and go from there, okay? There's our first exercise, that's our push. Second exercise is just going to be a row or a pulling movement. And for that one, referenced earlier when we were chatting with Jan, is we can use a dumbbell, a kettlebell, anything heavy in your garage. If you have a generator you want to use, even a jug of water. Some of you guys may have like those capped Culligan water jugs. That's going to work just fine. So what we'll do is we'll go into what we call our split position. We'll take our dumbbell. You can rest your elbow on your knee, and you kind of want to envision that you're making a nice straight line from your shoulder right down to your heel, and then you're pulling your elbow back, and you're trying to pull your hand towards where your pockets would be, okay? What tends to happen is we get this kind of thing where you're pulling into your armpit. We don't want that. That's going to activate our upper trap. We want to get our lat and our mid-back muscles working, okay? As far as rep range would go, anywhere from 6 to 10 reps, depending on the weight you have, okay? So those are the upper body movements. Now we'll go into lower body. So first movement is going to be the lunge, and this is going to be more of a quad and glute dominant exercise. So we're going to start with our feet together. We'll take a nice big step. In this bottom position, we want to be 90 degrees at the knee, 90 degrees at the back knee, and then 90 degrees at the hip. And then we'll push ourselves back up to our starting position. Down, same drill, 90, 90, and then 90. Push ourselves back up, and we don't want to deload in the bottom. We're just tapping and then pushing back up. Okay? Common misses on this one. As we come down, we're tightening our hips, and we get this kind of thing going on, so we kind of lose that angle. We want to stay nice and tall, okay? That's going to keep the hips stretched out. Nice strong position, okay? Same thing, 6 to 12 reps per side on this exercise would be good, and then you can use weight to load that up as well, okay? Last movement of the 4 is just going to be a single leg deadlift, okay? This is one of the movements that I prescribe to every single person I see. It's effective and it's very difficult, and you can progress through it very, very easily, okay? So first progression is going to be leaving your back foot on the floor, taking a little bit of weight, and then using that front leg to move. All right, from the side. So my front leg is working. This is going to be loading the hamstring and then squeezing the butt at the top, okay? To make this more difficult, we can take that back leg out, and we're only loading that one leg, and that's going to be a real hard challenge for the glute on my working leg, okay? Now, common pitfalls on this one is not being able to brace the core properly, so losing midline. It's going to look like this, all right? So you can see my low back kind of crunches. We're always trying to keep that neutral back position, whether we're doing it with the supported back leg or unsupported back leg, okay? The second piece of that is making sure our hips stay square to the floor, okay? Often we do this, and I call it the figure skater, where we come down and we open up too much. We want to keep our hips square to the floor. So we're not letting those hips open up at all. Okay? So that one's going to be 6 to 12 reps as well. If you want to load it, you can. Just making sure that we're keeping in line with the torso. All right? So get those 4 exercises going this little holiday season. Back into the normal routine for January, and maybe we'll see you guys around here. Have a good day, you guys.